Hi, I'm Abby Paige Stevens, and this is Stitchin' with Abby. I'm here to share with you all of the latest and greatest projects that we have coming for you here at Stitchin' Heaven. Our latest project is called Woodland Blooms, and I'm excited to share it with you. I'd ask you to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and also if you give us a thumbs up, we'd greatly appreciate it. Come on and let's get stitching. Hi, and thanks for joining me here on Stitchin' with Abby. I'm excited to share this project with you. It is called Woodland Blooms, and it features a fabric collection called Woodland Blooms, which is where we got the name. And that fabric collection is put out by Sanderson for Free Spirit. And this collection came just in time for fall. We have beautiful, rich colors in this quilt. We have some really pretty oranges and rusty colors, some really sweet little owls in here, and fun plaids that just make you think of snuggling up in a flannel sweater. So I thought this would be a great project to introduce at fall time. To begin this project, we are going to need 8 different fabrics, and I have them displayed here on the table. So we're going to call this fabric 1 is this plaid. 2 is this chevron in a really interesting kind of navy that leans a little bit teal. Fabric 3 is what I'm going to call our background fabric. It's this pretty kind of dusty robin egg blue. Fabric 4, fabric 5, and fabric 6. So these fabrics here are going to be in our block. And then we are going to have 7 and 8 are our inner border and our outer border, which we can see here in the edges of the quilt. The pattern that we use for this quilt is called Lawrence of Arabia, and this is a pattern that was designed by Deb Luttrell, our owner here at Stitchin' Heaven. And we will have this pattern available both online in a digital form and also available in the store as a physical copy. To begin this project, we are going to start with fabrics 1 and 3, and I have cut 3.5-inch strips and sewn them together. Doing the strip piecing is going to make cutting out all of these pieces much quicker. And so I'm going to line this up with the grid on my table here. And I'm going to start out by cutting 3.5-inch units off of this. Whenever you are getting ready to cut strip pieced units, you want to start, if you are right-handed, which I am, you want to have your raw edge opposite of that, to the left. So if you were left-handed, you would want to have that raw edge to the right. So I'm going to start out by lining up my strips here just so that they're straight, kind of with the grid on the table. And I'm going to begin by giving myself a nice straight edge here. So on the Creative Grids rulers, I really like these because they have 1/2-inch increments as well as full-inch increments. We need a 3.5-inch unit, and so I'm going to use my 1/2-inch increment side, which is the black numbers here in the black circles. So I'm going to line up my 3.5-inch mark at the edge of my fabric. And I'm going to start by slicing a unit. And pull that out and do it one more time. And once we have 2 of those units cut, we are going to flip one around, and we're going to sew this together with a 1/4-inch seam here to create a simple 4-patch. So I've got my 4-patch all sewn together. I'm going to take it over here to the pressing mat and open that up. Make sure the seam is fully open. And then I'm just going to press. I'm not sliding my iron around, I'm just pressing directly down so that we keep things nice and square. And there we have the beginnings of this block. We are going to need to make 2 of these, and I've already got one piece together here. So those are going to end up going in our block like that. But before we do that, we need to make the units that go here. And we do that by starting with 3 7/8 inch squares here. And I've got my pretty dahlia fabric and the background fabric. And I'm going to layer those right sides together. And I've always got my handy Stitchin Heaven ruler. It's just a little 2.5 by, I believe, 6.5 ruler here. It's perfect for marking these half square triangles. So I'm going to draw a line from corner to corner. And then I'm going to take that to the sewing machine and I will sew 1/4 inch away from that line on each side. Once I have that unit all sewn together, we're going to repeat that. So I've done that twice here. And then it's just a matter of taking your ruler again, lining it back up on that line that you drew, and slicing it in half. And then when you open those up, we're going to press towards the darker fabric. And you end up with these nice little half square triangles. Okay. Now that I have my half square triangles pressed open, we need to combine them with some solid squares to create another 4-patch unit. So we are going to combine this with one of our dahlia squares. These are 3.5 inch squares. And then one of this chevron square. And we're gonna have it arranged like this. So we kind of get this hourglass shape, corner to corner. And then our solid squares are opposite of each other. So our next step is to flip those over. And we will sew 1/4 inch here and here. Once I'm done sewing those, I'm going to take this here to my pressing mat and open these up. And as I'm arranging these, I'm going to be thinking about the direction that I'm going to press these open. I definitely want to press towards the solid squares this time. They are opposite of each other, and so now I'm going to have opposing seams that will nest nicely when I go to attach these to each other. Now all I have to do is flip those on top of each other, and I will sew 1/4 inch seam right there. And this is what our second 4-patch unit is going to look like. I'm going to take this over here to the pressing mat and get it pressed. You are also going to want to make 2 of these. And I've already got that done here. So these are going to go in opposite corners with our chevron fabric facing towards the center. And then we're going to arrange our other 4-patch units so that we have the plaid fabrics all in a diagonal line across the block like so. So now we're going to take our 4-patch units and we're basically going to do one big 4 patch. So I'll just flip those over, and I'll sew here and here. Once we have those units put together, we just need to attach them at the center, and so we'll sew a 1/4 inch seam there. And here is what our final block looks like. This is a block that's called Road to Oklahoma. The second block that we need to make for this quilt is called a mosaic block. And this is what it looks like when we're all done. This is a really simple block to put together. This is literally made out of just half square triangles. So in order to get started, we are going to use the same technique that we did before. We are going to layer 2 of our squares together. So we have our plaid, and then we have, this is fabric 6 with those cute little owls and pine needles. And I've already taken my straight edge and drawn a line from corner to corner, and then sewn a 1/4 inch away on each side. So I'm ready to slice that apart. And we'll get those pressed open. Again, I'm going to press towards the darker fabric. This block we're going to construct a little differently. We are going to build our center first because we want to get this pinwheel effect. So I have already created a couple of more half square triangles here, and these get arranged to where the fabrics alternate. So we've got our plaid, we've got our white, we've got our plaid, we've got our white, to create this pinwheel in the center. So now again, we're just building another 4 patch unit. So we'll put those 2 half square triangles together and those 2, and we'll sew a 1/4 inch seam here and here. Again, as we go to press these open, I'm going to arrange them on the mat, just how they're going to go together in the block. And we're going to press one seam to one direction, and then I'm going to make sure that the other seam is pressed in the opposite direction. Once those are nice and pressed, we are going to do the final assembly of the center seam. And we'll do a 1/4 inch seam right here. I'm ready to do the final press on this center unit. So on these pinwheel blocks, we have a lot of little points coming together. So I am actually going to pinwheel the seam allowances on the back here. So first thing I'm going to do is trim off my dog ears to get them out of the way. This technique takes a little bit of patience and time, but is well worth it when you press it, and your long arm quilter will thank you. So you can see here that I have these two seam allowances oppose each other. So I'm just gonna wiggle in here, and you may have to snip. So here we have it. These seam allowances are pinwheeled open. So I now have seam allowance that follow each other around in a circle, and you end up with this little, like, cute little 4 patch here on the back. So it takes a second to work it out. You just have to get in there, and you might have to snip a couple of threads to get that to lay open. But now that's much less bulk there. So let's give that a good press. I'm gonna press from the front and the back. Once you have your center unit complete, we need to make several half square triangles, And we are going to use our background fabric and this lovely orange floral pattern. And again, I've just layered, these are 3 7/8 inch squares, and I've layered them together. We draw a line from corner to corner and then stitch a 1/4 inch away on each side. I will slice that apart. And I'll press those open with the seam allowances towards the orange fabric. Just like so. You will need 12 half square triangle units in this color combination. And we are ready to start arranging our block. So we will have our pinwheel here in the center. We will start at the corner with the orange facing out. And then we will have our background fabrics touching, and we're going to start making this kind of diamond shape around. Once we have all of our half square triangle units arranged here, we should have a square on point created by the orange fabrics here, and then these linear shapes that come around and follow that square in a diamond. So now we need to just assemble these units together here and here. So we'll do a 1/4 inch seam allowance there and there. So I've got those units sewn together and pressed, and they will now attach to each side here. So we'll do a 1/4 inch seam allowance here and here. So I got those 2 side units on, so now I have this center row, and now all I need to do is sew these units into a row and these units into a row. I've got my rows all sewn together, and so now we just need to assemble the 3 rows into our final block. So we'll do a 1/4 inch seam there and there. And here we have our final block put together. Again, this is called a mosaic block. When we have both of our blocks completed, we are ready to begin assembling the center of the quilt. It's really simple. We just are going to alternate the mosaic block and the Road to Oklahoma block every other, and then alternate in the rows. Once we have our quilt center put together, then it's just we add our borders and finish our quilting and binding, and we'll be all done. It's been really fun to share this quilt with you today. I do want to let you know that we will have kits available here at the store. You can come into the shop and see us, or you can order them online. And again, the pattern, Lawrence of Arabia, is available in store and online as well, in digital and physical copy. I also am excited to share with you that we have developed a new landing page where you can hit the link below and you can see a list of all of the tools and supplies that we love to use here at Stitchin Heaven, particularly the ones that I used in this project today. So hopefully you'll check those out. I do also want to remind you to hit that subscribe button and the notification bell, and we'd also appreciate a thumbs up so that you can keep up on all that's happening here at Stitchin Heaven. I'll see you next time.